Hey guys, it's Kirneill here, and today we're gonna fix that 120 hertz thing, 100% method. This method 100% works every single time. I've been testing it all night, and I'm gonna give you guys the best PlayStation settings for this Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta here. So let's get into it here. So the first thing that we're gonna do, fellas, is we are going to go over to settings. Now, there's a few things that we have to do here. So the first thing that we have to do is go to sound, screen, and video. You want to change your resolution to 1440p if you have a 1440p monitor. If not, you're fine. The way you do that is test 1440p output, and then just make sure that you press yes, like when it's 120 hertz here, and that should be perfectly fine. Of course, make sure that this is 120 hertz output is set to automatic. Now, HDR, I usually disable this, especially if you don't have it on your monitor. I have it personally on my monitor, and I still disable it here. So just make sure that you have HDR off. And as well, the next thing that you're going to do is, I believe you can go into controller general. You scroll down here. You want to make sure that your controller is up to date. The DualSense wireless controller device software. You're going to make sure this is up to date for your controller here. And then we're just going to scroll down here to save data and save PS5. Now, if you already have the game downloaded and everything like that, that is perfectly fine. You're going to go to console storage and the cloud storage that you see there. And you're just going to wait on it. Just make sure that everything's fine here for a minute. It's just going to load up, load up, load up. You're going to go over here to delete, and then you're going to see like Modern Warfare 2, and you're basically going to delete that 53 megabit file folder right there. Now, this is all like the secret sauce, guys. So make sure you share this with a friend just so they can have this too here. But I'm telling you, this is the secret sauce. So you can go ahead and delete this here. I'm not going to delete it because I already have the 120 hertz thing, so I'm pretty good to go. Then you're going to go over to game preset. A lot of people were missing this. Game presets, you're going to go over to performance mode or resolution mode, and you're going to switch that to performance mode for sure. That's what you want here. Now, after you do that, I'm a little, because the PlayStation, it's very, very vulnerable to anything. It's not like a total PC. It's very, very sensitive to anything that you're running in the background here. So what I like to do is come over here to PlayStation Store, come to the little three dots to the side. Oh, you guys can't see that. Let me just move out of your way real quick. Come to the little dots here to the side, and then you're going to go to personalization settings. So the personalization settings are going to be right here. You're going to click on that. I personally like doing this. It's going to boost your performance just a little bit, not too much, but it should be good. And you want to basically disable all these personalization settings here. I don't have this on. That way that's not running in the background or anything when you're playing, and you could get just more frames in general doing that. The next thing is basically going back to the system. I forgot about this one. Then you're going to go into systems right here. And you're going to do a few things here. So the first thing that you're going to do is, if you have Elgato, this should be the first thing that you do. You're going to disable HDCP here. It just doesn't work with the Elgato 4K. So you're just going to disable that, and it'll start working again with your capture card. The next thing that you're going to do is basically you're going to go over to web browsing. You can disable cookies if you want, if you really want to. It's not that big of a deal. But I just have them enabled for now. But what you could do is just delete the cookies in general and clear website data, because PS5 likes to run all this stuff in the background here. That way that your CPU on your PS5 is completely clean. It's not running any like weird stuff in the background or anything like that. Now, if I come back into Modern Warfare 3, the way you check to see if you're on 120 hertz is actually on your monitor here. So if you have like a Alienware like me, you would just go to others, display info on your monitor here, and it should say current 1440p 120 hertz. So that's what I'm currently on. So it's going through just fine. With all of those settings changes, it should go through for you just fine as well. If that doesn't work, what you can do is basically download Fortnite, launch up Fortnite, switch it to 120 hertz mode, and just switch back to Call of Duty here. So that works for some people too. But this way, I have yet to launch on 60 hertz. So if you use this method, it would 100% allow you to have 120 hertz this whole beta here. Let me just double check here on my monitor. Yep, so I am on 120 hertz here. Now let's go through the settings here. So I'm just going to load up the game and just give you guys a glimpse of just what settings I would recommend in general. So I would go to just quick settings, graphics. All right, guys. So this is the settings that I would normally run here. So on-demand texture streaming, I would turn that off. World motion blur, I would turn that off. Weapon motion blur off. I would turn film grain to 0 unless you like that. This is a personal preference one. You could run either or. You could run 100. You could run 0. Whichever one works for you. Depth of field, you want this disabled if you want to see somebody when you're aiming down sight, please. Cast latency, this is personal preference. I usually like this on and then adjust it to what your liking is when it comes to sharpness. If you think about it, it's just like NVIDIA sharpness when you go on PC here. So it's the same thing. Field of view, of course, you want to just max this out or like run your regular like field of view and stuff like that. Third person field of view, this is like personal preference. You can max this one out if you want. Brightness is personal preference as well. And safe area, you want it to just match your monitor here. So that should be good for all the graphic settings here. So you should be good with that. Now, you don't want to run headphone bass boost if you want to hear footsteps here. We're going to actually check each one of these just to see which one is the best for you guys in terms of just footsteps. But I'm just running home theater for now, but we're going to check each one of these and let you guys know which is the best for footsteps in a while here. I don't like vibrations whatsoever, so I have that disabled. Auto sprint, of course, you want to auto tag sprint. Sorry to all like the professional players here. Equipment, that's perfectly fine. Weapon mount action, you want to double tap ADS here if you want to slide cancel. That is going to matter a lot here. Advanced, all right, so aim assist type, default, of course, target aim assist on. A lot of professional players use dynamic for their aim assist response curve if you want that. Transition, yeah, you could have instant or gradual. Usually it's at gradual, but now they have it at instant, which is interesting. But generally, I know like the default is generally like gradual, but it doesn't matter. It's just personal preference with that one. And this is very important here, guys. This is very important. You want to have automatic airborne mantle off. You want to have automatic ground mantle off, and this will allow you to slide cancel here. These are what allow you to slide cancel. So make sure that you turn that off. Along with what we said previously, which is the double tap ADS. So that'll allow you to slide cancel. And you could watch Blux's video on that. But yeah, guys, so I hope that helps. And that should allow you to be able to run 120 hertz perfectly fine, no matter if you're running Elgato, 1080p, 1440p, 4K, 120 hertz. Perfectly fine from my testing. It still hasn't failed me yet. So make sure that you do those steps in that order here. I believe the performance mode is the huge thing when it comes to impacting if it goes to 120 hertz or not. So as long as you do that, you should be good. My name is Kirneill, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And make sure you share this with a friend just in case they need it here.